Area 12.
Good morning, y'all. Happy Monday. You know what time it is. How y'all doing out there, America? It's Emos, the witness back for the F.I.L.L show, episode 21. By the time y'all know what it means, fuck I look like. Hope you had a great weekend out there. February 1st, start a new month, new era. Biden administration's warming up. Got a lot to cover today. We got a lot of news going on in politics. A lot of hypocrisy I want to bring about today. A lot of research I've been witnessing in the realms of foreign policy. So let's get into the news. Let's talk about what's going on in the world today. My man Emos is in the house. My man Malik and White in the house, two of the hardest working media producers in the industry. We're downtown at 120 East Market Street. You can catch me downtown every Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 10 to 11 a.m. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Check me out. Keep up with the latest information regarding politics, live stream, sports, entertainment. We're going to be hitting them hard, cracking across the head, getting them right, holding people accountable for what they've done in the past 4 years and beyond. We're tired of the naysay, the double talk, the two-tier justice system. So let's get into the news and let's become witnesses. I'm Emos, the Witness, your host. Malik, let's turn down the music, get down to background music, and let's get into the news. Get some background, some subtle stuff to talk about. Let's see. As I mentioned, like I said, there's been a lot going on in the past month. As you know, we have a new president, new administration. We went through the inauguration. We got through a lot of stimulus talk, a lot of COVID talk, a lot of election irregularities and integrity issues that we still have to sort out. This first month has been pretty eventful, but also it's been kind of sobering too. We've seen a lot of, at least for the Republican Party, at least for Republican and Trump supporters, we've seen a lot of sobering news regarding the election results, whether it be in the Senate and the House, and whether it be in the presidency election itself. But at the same time, we have issues that we want to point out. We have investigations that are still ongoing and still need reviewing, and we're going to see what's going to happen over the next, 4 years on how that pans out. If they're squashed, or will they continue? We hold people accountable. This is a pivotal moment in American society. Will we hold our leaders accountable, or will we sweep it all under the rug? But here at Emos the Witness, episode 20, we seek to be a new voice, to provide new perspective, to provide analysis, and provide news content that you may not ever see or you may not ever hear about, or that's barely talked about, or maybe misrepresented in mainstream media. So that's what this is all about. So I want you to hit that subscribe button on YouTube, like me on Facebook and Twitter. We're a new show coming about. We're trying to bring you pretty much a human perspective, a natural American citizen perspective. We need more voices out here in society speaking out about these issues. There's a lot at stake. Our freedoms are under attack. Our freedom of speech, our freedom of protections of our right to bear arms, our freedom to protest, our votes. I come out here every episode and I kind of try to hammer those points home. That this is what this is all about. This is about, this show is being framed, but at the same time, a lot of my principles and values are being exposed. But it's better to speak up, now more than ever. Whether you want to call it the silent majority or whatnot. But I'm coming to you with an analysis and a standpoint where someone who's a Black American who is a Trump supporter, who became disenchanted with the Democratic Party, way back in, I would say, about 2012, the end of the first term of the Obama administration. Like I said, in my earlier shows, I came out and I stated that I voted Democratic all my life. Since I was able to vote, I voted on almost every Democratic leader that you can think of had my vote, blindedly, unabashedly. Just check that mark off, check that box. And then growing up, you go to college and you have your liberal views and your standpoints, your youthful thoughts. You're almost a little rebel, and then you get out to corporate America, or you get out to America, you get into the workforce, and you have a family and you have kids and everything like that, and you start. Your principles, your traditions start to come about, the things you were raised on, and your values start to permeate more out throughout the day because you worry about your family, your future, your kids. And in 2012, I just saw a lot of BS in politics, a lot of talk of hope, a lot of talk of mean well, feel good policies to butter me up, but eventually at some point I came disenchanted because I didn't see results. I saw a lot of rhetoric. And so then I just, I pretty much, honestly, in 2012, that election was Mitt Romney versus Obama. I stood on the sidelines. I didn't vote. I protested my vote. Honestly. So I guess from 2012, 2016, I had no leader. I had no reason to voice my opinions. I had no reason to to complain about whatever results happen, any kind of policy that's been voted upon, right? Because I'm a believer that if you don't participate into your electoral process, if you don't stay engaged, or if you don't even if you have a sideways angle or sideways angle, let me see, if you have a nonchalant approach to politics, or to who's guiding you or who's leading your local and national governments, statewide governments, then you deserve what you get in returns of your leadership. And that's what we are, America. That's what we are here at the Emos to Witness Show, F.I.L.L. Show, episode 21. We're growing as witnesses. Hit that like button on YouTube. Like me on Twitter, Facebook. You can catch me downtown every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, live, 120 East Market Street. So come check me out. We're growing together as witnesses. I am your guide. I'm your referee. And like I said, all my standpoints, all my viewpoints, all my perspectives, yeah, they're gonna ooze out, but I'm trying hard, you guys, and I will try hard to be a referee. Just a guide. We'll go through these politics, these issues, these standpoints over the months, the years, as the world turns. And I just want to give you my perspective, my angle. A Black American, married, with kids, Midwestern-born entrepreneur. And I also worked in corporate America. I also worked in white collar and blue collar America. In strong industries, logistics, finance, so I feel like I can, like I said, now that I'm in this entrepreneurial world perspective, I have various angles to present, and who better to speak on those things than your average American? I feel like I represent that. Now, my views may not represent yours all the way, but I aim to be fair, objective. And again, we walk through these waters together as witnesses, because it's very important that we don't get duped any longer. We don't get made a fool of. We vote in these elections, and we look up the next morning and we're surprised. For the last 4 years, it was the Democrats. Now it's the Republicans. So are we still being played? Yes, we are. And it's time to stop the madness, stop the wheels from turning, and correct this now. So like I said, I'm your guide, Emos to Witness. Let's get into it. I like to start off a little bit light. I like to, I don't like to just kind of throw either bad news or just, politics into your face outright. But I saw a very good movie this weekend. The Little Things, starring Denzel Washington. Anytime I get a chance to watch a Denzel Washington movie, I have a good, I like to try to tune in. That's probably one of the rarest actors that I would actually set my clock to actually go watch, because I really do enjoy good acting. I know there's gonna be some characters, some co-stars in there that's gonna be bouncing their rhetoric off of him, their wordplay. And this movie was really good. It was good, but it wasn't. And this is, this article kind of hits it home right here. Little Things, Big Problems. If you haven't checked this movie out, it premiered this past weekend on HBO Max. I recommend you guys go check it out. You know what I'm saying? If you like a good thriller, a good detective thriller. But this is the first movie that I honestly can say that Denzel wasn't the best character, or he wasn't the best actor in the movie. He did a really great job. But let me check out. What's this guy's name? Rami? No, not Rami. It wasn't him. Jared Leto. Man, Jared Leto did a great job. He played a serial killer, but it was very tactful. The thing is, I don't want to tell the movie. I don't want to tell the movie too much, but you don't know who the killer is at the end of the movie. You still don't know who the killer is. I've never watched a movie where I stopped watching, it was over, the credits ran, and I said, damn, who was the killer? Who in the hell was the, so this is a very good movie. I recommend, if anybody wants to watch a good movie that I haven't seen in a long time, that you may actually see in the cinema, it'll be The Little Things. But like I said, this article kind of hits home that it has some problems as far as the way it was written and where its content. It wasn't explained very well as far as bringing it all together. And but even still, the level of acting, the level of wordplay in various scenes warrant you to watch this movie. And it's caused me to watch it twice. So if you guys looking for something good to watch in these cold wintry days, here at Emos Witness, I'll give you a little bit of movie review. I I recommend you do go watch it and check out The Little Things, starring Denzel Washington, Jared Leto, and Rami Malek. I don't know if I said that guy's name correctly. Rami Malik, or I don't know. I thought it was Freddie Prinze Jr., but I was totally wrong about that. But yeah, that's for you guys there. A little bit of movie review. Let's jump into sports real quick, huh? Let's jump around a little bit. You know, there's a nice Super Bowl coming up this week, this coming Sunday, between the New England, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Kansas City Chiefs. You know, I'd like to know who you may have for that. You may hit me up on the chat. Who you think may win that matchup? Would I give it to Brady? I really don't know. I mean, we don't know who's gonna win this, man. You know, you got the Kansas City Chiefs trying to start a dynasty. You do have the great. You have great QB. You have great. I mean, I don't know, man. You have great matches all across the board. You think about Antonio Brown. You think about Michael Evans. You think about the running game with Fournette. You think about Le'Veon Bell. All the stars are gonna come out the Super Bowl weekend. You know what I mean? Of course, Mahomes, and you got the Kelseys. All your weapons are coming out. Your Tariq Hills, they're coming out. They're gonna show. You're gonna see a lot of Antonio Brown. This is when the gloves come off. You know, playing at Tampa, who's gonna win that? Malik, who you got? What do you think about that, Malik? Who you got for the Super Bowl this coming Sunday?
I think it's gonna be like Tom Brady losing, and it's gonna be like a passing of the torch to Patrick Mahomes becoming the best quarterback of all time.
I like that storyline. You know, because almost like, you know, I know they want to run off a few in a row, Kansas City Chiefs do, but you know, you're going down to Tampa, you're going down to the house of Brady. You know, Brady built, and you know, like you said, I mean, it's kind of tough for him to go all the way down there, have all the success, and then lose. I think Brady did something magical this year. I think he's going to close it out. Like I agree. I think he's going to put the cap on it, icing on the cake. But you know, I don't know. But then again, you know, it's like it's your first year. Maybe you make it to the pinnacle, but you don't get over the hump. Because there's no indication that Tom Brady's going to retire. You know, he may still continue a few more years. You know, so maybe it could be a back and forth between him and Mahomes over the next few years. I don't know. But you have a lot of great QBs coming across down the pipeline. It's time for the old man to bounce. You know, walk off into the sunset and let room for other people to join. I don't know. I mean, I don't know, man. It's gonna be a great game. You know, I'm gonna put my bet on Brady. That's tough.
Yeah, it's always hard to bet against Brady.
It is. It really
especially in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, you're right. And it's gonna show a lot. Of course, it already has, but it's gonna add to his GOAT status, of course. I think he already is a GOAT. You know, after just lead a team to the Super Bowl, you know, NFC Championship alone in your first year is, after what you've done already in New England, warrants you to, you know, GOAT status in my book. But yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see. You got any appetite? You got any plans for the Super Bowl? You plan on doing any parties or anything? COVID parties?
Me?
Power Ranger outfit?
Yeah, me and White are being Ninja Turtles for the Super Bowl. Man, I'm Raphael. He's Leonardo.
Man, what the hell's going on? What kind of party y'all got going on, man?
It's just costume parties. We just we always lose the contest to determine who's gonna be like in the costume. So, yeah.
Hey, wait. You know what? Hey, I encourage that. I don't know what the youth are doing nowadays. You know, because I ain't gonna lie, we used to do some crazy stuff, you know, back when it was time for parties. So I can't even judge you guys. You know, I just say, hey, good food, fun, laughter. Everybody out there, be safe. Enjoy the Super Bowl. It's gonna be great coming up this Sunday. Enjoy the festivities. Let me move on though, man. Jeez. You know, like I said, this is a political show. I mean, we try to add little tidbits here and there. We want you guys to grow. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Let's build up the legions of witnesses. Okay. But again, our whole purpose though is expose truth to power, hold those accountable. I want this show to go through various different angles, very different presentations. You know, like I said, I want to eventually get to a point where I'm highlighting and showcasing some of the corrupt politicians from the past, profiling some of the new congressional members that have been recently elected. Because again, by 2022, I want us to be educated on who we're voting for in the midterms and who we're voting for in 2024. But in order to do that, though, we have to hold the past accountable, we also have to hold past investigations to accountable. I know I say that a lot, but we will get there. We will. But it's important to be accurate. That's the whole point. We're going to expose some of these familiar faces. And I'm also glad to see that we're talking about term limits in politics. We know there's a lot of bills being passed or being brought up, rather, from the Republican standpoint, from the state legislatures, and we'll get into that as well. But it's important to know that there are some politicians that are seeking real change, and there's some politicians on the left, in particular, seeking radical change. And then, of course, you have your moderate Democrats and you have your establishment Republicans, headed by the Lincoln Project, right, that are trying to hold the status quo in power. So we'll keep trying to pinpoint the sides. We'll keep trying to show you who's on your side and who's not, and we're trying to show you where their groupings are. Because this is all a little bit of bunch of gangs on top of a bigger gang, right? And they're all part of the same batch, but you gotta see who's good and who's evil and who's playing politics at what time. It's a big chess match. Politics is a dirty game. Here at the Emos to Witness show, the F.I.L.L show, the fuck I look like, episode 20, we're gonna try to expose all that and create a big forum for having discussions as we roll out. So like I said, hit that like button, subscribe on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. You can always reach me on the chat. And we also have a website coming out soon, emostowitness.com. It's important for me to get all that out there, you guys, all this information. Again, Wave 1 Media. Catch me downtown every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, live from 10 to 11 a.m., 120 East Market Street. All right? So, I kind of want to get into the article about Kanye West. You see, he's currently being sued, facing a $30 million lawsuit from nearly 1,000 Sunday service members. I guess they're alleging, breaking labor laws and mistreatments and mispayments and not paying overtime and having his service members sleep on the floor. That's probably like the next article, Malik, is the Kanye one. And so we got a lawsuit that was originally filed in Los Angeles Superior Court last summer, but details of each allegation are beginning to become public. Per the UK Sun, the performers and crew had legal rights to overtime wages and should have been classified as employees, not independent contractors. One singer, Michael Pearson, reportedly said in court documents he was paid a flat rate of $250, regardless of the number of hours worked. He had no meals or restroom breaks and was forced to stand or sit on the ground. See, guys, this is acid reflux, I'll tell you. All weekend during one performance. So we see that Kanye West is currently going through a little bit of headache right now, as usual. And this is with his Sunday service tour and some of the service members that are part of that tour. And I don't know, something prompted me to go ahead and post this article and talk about it and tie it in with the Black Lives Matter article that I came across from the Mogul Dome Nation. Let me read a little bit about this before I can make my point. This is saying that where did the money go? Black Lives Matter causes $10.6 billion. $10.6 billion is a lot. I read this article like a week ago. I meant to talk about it then, but I don't know how true this is, but what I wanted to indicate, what I wanted to point out, is how this group is actually kind of fractured in a lot of ways, and it's still kind of trying to find his way and find his voice. And this is the point that I made again in previous shows, that the voice is being hijacked. The message was hijacked from the jump. So how can anyone, or myself in particular, be a part of any kind of organization such as this if it's one splintered into these many chapters at the same time his voice is being abused and misused by others with different kind of agendas? Those such as Antifa and George Soros, I think actually was the original benefactor. Of course, we did see that interview on MSNBC, I believe, where Black Lives Matter was admitting that they are a socialist organization. So again, like I said, I support a lot of black causes, but I just have to be mindful and be careful of who's leading me. And that's the point another point that I'm trying to bring across the Emos to Witness show, is that we can't be blindly led by anybody, whether it be in corporate America, whether it be in politics, whether it be in business. We have to hold our leadership into account when they speak various things and when they want to lead us with their various opinions. But even celebrities, we have to hold their feet to the fire if it's inaccurate, if they're trying to spread a message that is not genuine. So as I read this article, make sure I read this right. The organization founders, three black women, Alicia Garza, Patrice Cullors, and Opal Tomiti, have been accused on social media of not sharing a single cent with black people. Others came to Black Lives Matter support saying they are donating to BLM city chapters and trying to start a bank. I hope people don't believe BLM is a legal entity received $10 billion. The Mogul Nation founder, Jamarlin Martin, tweeted, "The corporate confederacy defines BLM causes as they wish. You can take issue with a group, but don't lie on them," says the bougie but predictably got the George Floyd money. Well, initially some money went to the wrong Black Lives Matter group. A police-focused Black Lives Matter foundation was easily found on fundraising platforms such as GoFundMe. Individuals and companies include Apple and Google made huge donations meant for Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation, according to the investigative article at BuzzFeed. Well, that means that basically that Apple and Google sent money to the wrong group. And so the original Black Lives Matter group never received such amounts of money. But Robert Ray Barnes, founder of police-focused Black Lives Matter Foundation, said the group's focus is on bringing the community and police closer together. It's important that I read these certain parts because it's going to add to my point, though. BuzzFeed found that millions of dollars were funneled unknowingly to the wrong organization because of the name confusion. In fact, employees of Apple and Google and Microsoft have raised millions of dollars on for the Black Lives Matter Foundation, thinking it was an international racial justice movement seeking to end police brutality. That couldn't be further from the truth. Corporation raised $4 million. Sound like foundation. Where is that part? That one. There's so much disorganization going on with this group. There are still no exact figures released on how much Black Lives Matter has received in donations. That won't be known until a central body overseeing BLE spending publishes its finances. The organization has another entity, a physical sponsor with Ties Foundation, to oversee its books. Cullors has taken the role of the main leader of the once leaderless group. She's in charge of the foundation, which controls the funds, distributing them to officially recognize Black Lives Matter city chapters through another new body called the BLM Grassroots. So, and on November 30th, representatives of 10 city chapters, including Chicago, Denver, and Philly, rejected the recent changes and accused Cullors of a secretive power grab. So, okay, I'm done reading this. The point that I'm trying to make is that, I just think that, me speaking on Black America, we have to get organized. We have to quit attacking one another. And it seems that, in my opinion, when we try to do something good, someone always tries to infiltrate or take our message and twist it. Whether it be a single celebrity or a single athlete trying to do good, if we don't protect the message, if we don't get organized, we're going to be attacked. We're going to be used as pawns. And the Kanye West article kind of points to us destroying ourselves, and the 10.6 Black Lives Matter shows us being unorganized and being taken advantage of. And I just wanted to bring those two to highlights when I read those things. I think that's more of our problem before we can start attacking these issues that we see, whether it be from a presidential perspective or tag along on different ideals that we may not necessarily agree with. We need to look into ourselves, and we also need to look into what we really truly believe and what we hold true. And as all Americans, we hold a lot of similar values and traits, principles and traditions. We care about freedom. We care about our fellow Americans and our right to bear arms, our right to protest and free speech, and you know, who doesn't? You know, we want fair labor laws and labor practices. We do. We don't want corruption. So who's fighting our corner? Who really has our backs, and who will have our back? Okay. So let me see here. I got like 2 more minutes. So let me go into COVID. I want to get into the recent stats on COVID. I want to keep you guys posted on what's going on because, like I said, this is a very serious pandemic. And I want to get into politics next. But before that, let me show you the recent stats regarding COVID. Currently, as a world, as the whole world goes, we have 103 million cases, an increase of 502,000. We have 57.1 million people recovered, and we have 2.23 million deaths, an increase of 11,986. Okay, so of course, as you guys know, the United States still leads in the amount of deaths of 4,441. Let's see United States current stats on COVID. See where we lie on that. But again, I want to also keep bringing these numbers up because we have new changes to how we review new cases, how we detail them according to the World Health Organization, how we kind of cancel out the false positives. So we may see these numbers dwindle over time, here real soon. So as the United States go, we have 26.2 million cases, an increase of 111,000. We have 441,000 total deaths in America, an increase of 1,875 new deaths in America. So that's your current COVID stats. I want to check out something real quick. 1 second. Like I said, I just like I said at this point, when it comes to COVID-19, when it comes to the vaccine and various therapeutics that are coming out there, I just want to watch the politics of it all because I think that we already have it. So I think we're on our way to a solution. I think we're on our way to better days. I'm an optimist, glass half full, and when I see various vaccines coming out, I see the one shot from Johnson & Johnson. Now, you taking it is your choice. I give you guys my opinion about it. I say stay vigilant. We need to open up. I just feel like when I look at it from a political standpoint, I look at what are the politicians saying as far as schools opening up. I look at the scientific standpoint as far as what vaccine is. The Johnson & Johnson vaccine is probably the real one. It's the one that said, okay, we got the one shot. You guys take this. This is gonna open and create a higher morale for society. Eventually, they'll just fade to the background. That blue mask that you see will eventually fade to the background. That blue mask, man, is something else. That blue mask is damn near like that Johnson & Johnson, talcum powder. We may see something about 10, 15 years down the line. Have you been coughing because of a blue mask? Are you sick because that blue mask is everywhere? I know we got our fashionable masks, the rhinestones, the black glitter to match your outfit. You got some people got the face shields. I got the face shield now. But that blue mask, man, you see it on the floor. It's like a piece of paper. It's like trash now. It's like weave roadkill. You see a little weave on the ground, and some girl left the club, and she done patted her head down, and she done ripped the weave off, threw it on the ground. And you drive past the next morning on the way to work, you see a piece of hair on the ground, a little weave roadkill. You're starting to see a little blue mask roadkill on the ground everywhere you go. They hurt your face. They're itchy, but they're like, they're a staple. They're like, they're a given. You can get your blue mask everywhere. They're here to stay. Those blue masks, they're here to stay. So, I don't know. That's just part of COVID. I don't know where I was going with that, but I want to get into the military. I want to get into the politics. I want to get into this. This is a little bit of foreign policy. Military stages a coup in Myanmar. So this is what you have, man. I mean, I just want to give you a little bit of foreign policy. There was a coup on Monday, last Monday, I guess. The Myanmar military staged a coup Monday and detained senior politicians, including Nobel Peace Prize laureate Aung San Suu Kyi, a sharp reversal from a significant, if uneven, progress towards democracy in Southeast Asian nation has made following 5 decades of military rule. The reason why they did a coup on this government is because they claimed fraud in the November elections. Can you imagine that happened here? Can you imagine if I think Trump was very close to doing that. We weren't getting an answer on a lot of these voting irregularities. We still haven't, of course. But he was about to press that button and have the military come in and stop everything. I think there was a couple articles that were supporting that claim and whether they were trying to stoke fear or not. But this is a country that actually did it. This is a country that actually, enacted, one of the provisions in their law that, the country knew that a coup was coming. The takeover, let me read the third paragraph. The takeover came the morning the country's new parliamentary session was to begin and follows days of concern that a coup was coming. The military maintains its actions are legally justified, citing a section of the Constitution it drafted that allows it to take control in times of national emergency. Though Suu Kyi's party spokesman, as well as many international observers, have said it amounts to a coup. Okay, but there's various ways to control society, control government, to stop and put a clamp on what is perceived to be, irregularity or fraud. And this is a nation, in my opinion, that enacted a provision to look into, voting irregularities and fraud in their election, and they declared it as a national emergency. Man, I don't think if anything was a national emergency in the United States, it was definitely this past November. Definitely, I think it should have been like a pause and a strong review and investigation in every swing state on what happened between November 4th and November 5th. And again, it's not because I'm a Trump supporter, and I'm going to keep on saying this. It's because as a nation, we need to make sure that our voting rights are intact and they stay intact, and our voting rights have power. I mean, you see what happens when American people come together and they do something like what they did with GameStop. And it seems like it's going to continue, huh? They've done the same thing recently. They just did it to XRP this morning. They inflated the price on XRP. And I think there's another company. Oh, silver. They inflated the price on silver this morning as well. So you see, the American people are waking up, and they're if you want to kind of include the storming of the Capitol as one example, one symbolic moment, and you haven't seen it reported enough, but there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes or just in local state governments that are changing laws, and people are looking forward to a 2022 of change and a 2024 of a reversal of this three-headed monster we have now, with the Democratic Party controlling the House, Senate, and the executive branch. A lot of people feel that there are either 75 to 71 to 75 to 84 million Americans who are now not represented over these next 4 years because they feel like the election was stolen, and they feel like that President Trump won in a landslide. And no matter how much the media portrays or misinforms people that these people are crazies, they're not. They're your average American. They're your next door neighbor. They're 84 million people who want their claims addressed. But now it's getting to a point now where it's not even being talked about anymore. It's being drowned out. So that's why here at Emos the Witness, we want to encourage everyone to bring their own, to start and support and to get their voices out there and speak their mind about the unfairness going on in this world. So I want you to know that you like the chat button. You can like me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. hit me on the chat. Look up for my website so we can go through these issues together. And again, I want to talk about foreign policy. I want to talk about how, it's a Cooper's tip going on. We'll keep you posted on that. I wanted to talk about North Korea and South Korea. We don't talk about what's going to change since Trump is no longer in office. I mean, we had pretty much a peaceful 4 years of these two countries, North Korea and South Korea, coming together almost in a detente. I mean, we also even had a point where the president of South Korea, even made suggestions on nominations of President Trump becoming a Nobel Peace Prize candidate on 2 occasions, not only for his role here, but his role in the Middle East. And I thought before I close this show out, I wanted to talk about a little bit of President Trump's foreign policy success, because I don't think it's been tapped on enough. And I think that we need to kind of recognize that, because right now, I think the posture currently with the new administration is one of aggressiveness towards North Korea. We don't really need that right now. We want peace in this world. That's the trajectory we were on. And like as you recall, before President Trump left office, he was trying to remove the troops from Afghanistan. That didn't go too well. We had a lot of insiders, a lot of deep state people that reversed that plan. I'm telling you, there's a lot going on. We'll get into that too. But I want to talk about Trump's foreign policy and the success that he may have had, or that he has had. In this article right here, we have Trump's gone, but North Korea's tensions still loom in U.S.-South Korea alliance. That's the next article, Malik. That's the one. U.S. President Joe Biden took office last week. Perhaps no world leader breathed a bigger public sigh of relief than South Korean President Joe Jan-in. So, South Korean president has a tweet that says, "Congratulations on your inauguration. America is back. America's new beginning will make democracy even greater. Together with the Korean people, I stand by your journey towards America united." That's the Biden administration's message. The U.S.-South Korea alliance underwent a period of open tensions under Trump, who often used blunt language, insults, and threats to pressure Seoul to pay more for the cost of hosting nearly 30,000 U.S. troops. Now, President Biden called it extortion, and he wants to end that policy. But President Trump got South Korea to pay us more money to keep our troops there. If not, we were going to remove our troops from South Korea. Another bargaining chip. You think about what Trump did for NATO, as far as increasing the NATO funding, making those countries pay more to keep that alliance strong and military structurally sound. You look at all the foreign policy and all the foreign trade deals, from reversing TPP to, the creation of the USMCA. But he did a lot in the foreign policy realm, but we have not discussed that enough over the terms of his presidency, because it's been swamped with investigations and all this nonsense and investigations of impeachment. But Moon, whose 5-year presidential term ends next May, is running out of time to achieve inter-Korean peace. Although he has vowed a final push to renew talks, progress will be difficult without the support of Biden, who was consumed with the coronavirus pandemic that has killed more than 420,000 Americans and devastated the U.S. economy. Warrior soul. Well, let me actually give you a different approach. Although the Biden administration hasn't yet decided on a North Korea strategy, Anthony Blinken, who is set to become Secretary of State, says the United States will consider using both diplomacy and increased pressure to convince North Korea to return to negotiations. A more adversarial stance toward North Korea will likely upset Moon and his allies in Seoul. At a news conference last week, Moon said the starting point for Biden should be the 2018 Singapore Agreement between Kim and Trump, in which both sides agreed to work towards denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula. So yeah, at the same time, this is actually a foreign policy failure in a sense for Donald Trump. Well, half and half, because he actually visiting and setting foot on North Korean soil in itself is an achievement for a Western power nation. And secondly, the peace. There hasn't been any missile launches. There's been a peace through strength strategy that's actually worked, and it's been keeping that peninsula, that region, kind of quiet over the last 4 years. So we gotta give applaud to that. But the failure to return to negotiations after negotiation tactic that we'll see what happens. But we have not talked to North Koreans in a while, and we're trying to get them back to the table. But at the same time, there's been peace. There has been no missile launches, but we need to get them back to the table. But will an aggressive Biden administration prevent that from happening? We'll see. The next article I want to bring up real quick though is this one that really kind of lays it all out. Is Trump's foreign policy adventures haven't all flopped? Before I close out, I want to really hit you guys with some of these foreign policy victories. And this article from the FP Insider Access from Robbie Grammer. But this is actually a little older article from late last year. But it actually highlights the victories in a three-pronged approach. It gives you the big victories, gives you the partisan victories, and then it wants to give you the misfires, missed opportunities, and the technocratic victories. This article lays out a lot of great analysis of Trump's foreign policy, and I'm just going to skim through this because I already read it. But some of the things that were very interesting is that, of course, for China, battling China, he actually put the focus and attention on China away from us always thinking about Russia and what's going on in the Middle East. But we, as a country, we were led to be focused on China now going forward, and as our main adversary, and as we should, because China's doing a lot of work to take over power in the world. And it needs to be highlighted, and we also, as a nation, need to protect ourselves from that from a technological standpoint, whether it be from telecommunications, from military. And one of some of the things that Trump has done is that he formed a regional policy with Japan, India, and Australia, which increased our U.S. Navy ships from over 350 ships to possibly even 500 ships. And we have a long-term plan that is some defense hawks have cheered as a military threat from China grows. So when he in his speech when he talked about building up the military, that wasn't a lie. Here's a good example of him actually doing so, reinforcing our Navy. So here's a quote from Rebecca Heinrich of the Hudson Institute. Getting the United States on sounder footing to confront and compete with the Chinese Communist Party is the most significant achievement of this administration. Even if this was their one and only term, they've done the country a great service by moving the ball down the field on China. Of course, then we have the president's stance on Israel, moving the embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. A lot of worry, a lot of fear of uprisings. None of that happened. Thought there'd be more conflict, more wars as a result. That has not happened. The current administration believes that to be a good idea as well because they're going to keep the embassy in Jerusalem, at least they intend to. So that was another foreign policy achievement by President Trump that we can all applaud. Can give out the additional peace deals that currently happen in the Middle East between Israel, the UAE, and Bahrain. What this does is puts Israel more legitimacy. It also lets you guys know that there's other countries in the Middle East that actually support and are friendly to Israel. They call this the Abraham Accords. Here's a quote from Emma Ashford, foreign policy expert with the Atlantic Council. You got to give them credit for the Abraham Accords. This isn't an earth-shattering change in foreign policy, but getting some of the Gulf states to come out and admit they are actually more friendly with Israel is something that's an achievement. And of course, we know what the Trump administration did earlier in their administration with the Islamic State, how they killed Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, Soleimani, how they reversed and rolled back 41,000 square miles of territory between Iraq and Syria, roughly the size of Pennsylvania, defeating the caliphate. But the caliphate they are around for a small amount. Of course, what the articles say, they're still around, but they've been eradicated by almost like 90% has been eradicated. Now, some partisan victories by the administration, of course, we know is the reversal of the Iranian nuclear deal in 2015. We gotta watch that John Kerry though, man. Ooh, that dude, man, he like a damn Muppet. He like a straight puppet. Look at his face, man. He gets so much plastic surgery, man. He don't even look. I mean, that's the guy you need to watch out for. But they might reverse this deal, But again, the reversal of the withdrawal of the 2015 Iranian nuclear deal was also, to me, was a victory. It was a reversal of Obama's bad policy of basically giving these guys mounds of money and giving them run rampant with their technology. So that was a victory. Withdrawing from institutions like the World Health Organization, and kind of getting our stance, our integral stance with reversing or withdrawing from the World Health Organization, the Human Rights Council, the UNESCO, based on our claims of human rights violations from China and Venezuela, who are members of those organizations. So we kind of want to stand our ground, keep our stance there. But I don't want to give Trump so much praise as much because there were some failures. We're still waiting to see what's going on in Venezuela. But of course, the impasse on the negotiations with North Korea, the peace plan with Israel and Palestine stumbled. Of course, the impeachment trials, the climate change. There was very little action on climate change, even though I don't think climate change is really a big issue. We lowered our emissions in a lot of states as compared to countries around the world. So, to me, that's more of a political football than anything. And of course, he was still trying to get troops out of costly wars in Afghanistan and the Middle East, but he was prevented by stronger status quo powers. But I want to kind of highlight some of the foreign policy endeavors and accomplishments and achievements from the administration previously. And I don't have much time. Actually, I'm about to actually close out this show. But this coming Wednesday, I want to get into the Republican Party and the Democratic Party, where they currently stand as far as leadership. And there's a nice opinion piece that came out yesterday from the Seattle Times. Chris Vance wrote an opinion piece encouraging the Republicans to form a new party. And I guess he was talking about the status quo, the current leadership under Mitt Romney and Ben Sass and the like, and the Lincoln Project members. And he was explaining why. But I'll get into that this coming Wednesday, because this article is very telling, because it confirms and it lets you know that the Republican Party is controlled by President Trump. And the Republicans need to find a new identity. And I like what this article talks about, because the article actually gives you a little history too about how the Democratic Party was formed and the Republican Party was formed. And you'd be surprised that, where the chips lay today, and you just kind of wonder, like, why are so many minorities Democratic? And we'll get into that as well. So yeah, I want to thank you guys for participating and listening to my show live, Emos to Witness, the F.I.L.L. Show, Fuck I Look Like, episode 20. We're growing. I'm glad you're with me. We're all witnesses. I want you to hit that like button on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Subscribe. I want you to be able to look out for my website coming out soon. But until then, you can catch me live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 10 to 11 a.m. at Wave 1 Media, 120 East Market Street. Well, thank you for your time. Catch me this Wednesday at 10 a.m. Emos to Witness. You guys have a great Monday. Enjoy your week, and I'll see you soon.